the truth and pick up yourself. Me say hypocrite forget one is 2005. You see the hypocrites, come and start burning them from early.
Wait a second, burn them out?
Burn them out!
Okay.
Hello, good evening. My thanks to Phil and all the sports team. I don't know about you, but I feel that spring has really sprung.
I just cannot help myself because your love is so.
Selena Johnson featuring R. Kelly and Fabulous.
London Town, they said the tune bad. Pull up and play it again. Bogle, aka Mr. Wacky. Yeah.
We keep ready.
You're like in your car and then you're cruising and you go off to me like, hey, this one out the window. Like an electric window, but it's cool. You got one radio station. I don't even listen to radio anymore, man.
I don't think we want to know that, Helen. Thank goodness you're engaged. No!
I listen to Radio 4 when I wake up about 6 o'clock, and for however long I'm lying in bed before I get up, have a bath, and I might listen to the Radio 4 when I'm having breakfast, but then I'll generally switch over to XFM.
I'm a Radio 4 fan, but in the car, traveling in the car, radio is fantastic. Occasionally I like the Pirates, but I don't know, I can't always get them. Either or they move about and I don't. But I like to see that there are people out there who are working away at things that they like and things that they want.
Just will soon open up the live link. I want to know when
See, I'm just repping for West London, that's all. That's why I'm here. That's exactly why I'm here. You're about to see Trevor Nelson in a minute. So just stay tuned, Don't run away. Yeah? This is as real as it gets.
Soul Nation on Radio 1 every Wednesday night 1 till 3 with me, Trevor Nelson. And now, this track's called So What's the Fuss? Probably the first time you're hearing this.
Okay. Bring it. Pop it.
And what is it about radio that you find so attractive?
I think it's the personal touch. It's kind of one-on-one, but it really isn't. You don't know who's listening as well. Radio can get into any home, any car, any Walkman, any iPod, whatever, anything at all. It gets about more than telly. It's more accessible than TV. It's not based on your look or anything superficial too much. It's more based on what you say, how you sound, and what music you represent. So it's, you could do a show with your underpants on. That's what I mean. Which is good.
When you're watching television, you're completely sucked into it. You can't do anything else. You're watching an episode of ER or something. You're just collapsed on the sofa and you're not really getting anything else done. Whereas with radio, it's a sort of can be an accompaniment to your everyday life. So you can be making a cup of tea, making a cake, doing your homework. So it really gets in with what your sort of lived experience of life is really dictated to by the radio, and I think that's why it's such an intimate medium.
He's all the KFC crew, big up. Boy, you see the girl in the key, my back at KFC, you see? Hey!
We also different.
Do you know anything about pirate stations?
Yes, I do indeed, yeah. Funny you should ask me that. I remember, I think it was the 60s or 70s, there was Radio Caroline and there was Radio London.
Okay.
Those are my two favourite stations, and they of course were the forerunners to Radio 1.
Okay.
Radio 1. The government when the government saw that there was a great popularity with these stations, the great public support for them, they had to do something. So they brought in Radio 1, and then shut them down because they were breaking the law.
Okay.
You listen to some radio stations that are like legal radio stations, and they won't play what we want to listen to. So you don't really listen to them stations. You listen to a pirate station, and they'll play what you want to hear. So that's where you would go to, innit? You go to the pirate station or the other station.
Yes, that's very interesting. As a matter of fact, I didn't know that, because I thought they passed an act of parliament under which you weren't allowed to broadcast unless you had a license. And so how can you be a pirate radio station? In those days, you could only be a pirate radio station by being offshore, more than 3 miles away from the coast of the UK. Then you were theoretically invulnerable, but I thought that on the mainland you had to have a license. Once you got a license, you're no longer a pirate.
This is called Roots FM, I think. Yeah, this is Roots FM.
And this is a pirate station?
Yep, this is our pirate station.
94.2.
I've seen man climb over tower bridges, like, you know, the big block buildings, and hang on a rope and go down halfway down the building, stick his transistor on it, say get that kind. Yeah, that's how die-hearted man is for the community, for the radio station. It's important that we have them as well, because like a lot of the major commercial stations don't really play our tunes. Like we get like token gestures, like maybe half hour of black British music, and they feel like that's cool, but it's not really cool. So without them stations, we'd be in a lot of trouble.
These sick bars that I reach for come out quick with heat secure bars. Big bars get heat seek quick fast, get sync quick fast. As you watch T-Mars blast past real fast, I make your ass run real fast. To your crib you begin your task, to write a bar to bypass the wrath of the Sarge.
Bad boy J, yeah, jump on the rhythm, fight the lay, yeah. We'll chat shit, yeah, we'll get sprayed, yeah. Lewis will spit just like AK. Say your gash, in A. Went to your yard, no gash, in A. Say you got straps, in A. Went to your yard, no straps, in A.
Saying what's on my mind, give a sight to the blind, I'm always on the grind. Every second, every minute, every hour. Fences on my kitchen's hot, so I've got to take a shower. I got it made sharp like a razor blade. I gave you MC's power, hotter than the center of the sun. 99 problems, but I've got case ain't one. My name is Create, some I have 8 figures. I'm from Hornsey, where there's dealers, cats and killers.
When I was growing up in Pirates, it was dance music was taking off really, and I don't think people were listening to Pirates because they were pirates. They were just listening to them because there was nobody else serving that need.
I think being Great Britain as it is, obviously when you go to a new country, if you go to Italy, they're going to want to, you're going to listen to Italian music, and whatever country you go to, that's the type of music you can listen to. So being Great Britain, you're going to be listening to pop music, and everyone associates pop with England. So that's where the downfall was, because a lot of the Caribbean individuals were coming to this country and they weren't finding that their taste of music was widely open on radio. So what they had to do was like what my father had to do, was build a roadshow, which is a sound system to what we call a sound system, and obviously we'll go out every weekend and play this sound system at private parties, and if we could get into a club that would allow us to get into a club, we'll go there as well. So that's how the Caribbean individuals really got to listen to their type of music.
In the early days of pirate radio stations, most of it was done in makeshift like rooms or odd venues, as it were, and it was really nice because it really reminded me of the early days of my sound system, where it was a makeshift scenario, all friends together, collectively, usually in somebody's kitchen or next to the toilet or something like that in someone's house, all kind of shacked up.
Sound systems came with us really, I thought, because I remember even as a boy, I was going to the dances in the 60s, like when I was at school even, and sound systems in there and so on. But radio didn't really hit the properly until probably in the 80s.
Easy on the thugs, we can't forget to Easy Scammer G, big up. Easy Shampoo. Here's the inches, a lucky in.
We have been in love with radio since I was about 11 or 12, and I wasn't allowed to rave until I was about 16. But I always listened to the radio. I used to listen to all the Pirates, so it was a way of me keeping in contact with the scene that I was in love with, which was hip-hop primarily and R&B. And I used to sit next to my radio and literally just have my finger on the pause button and make these tapes. And 20 odd years on, I've still kept a lot of them. And it's just quite nice every so often to look back and just think, just remember when I was that age and when I wasn't allowed to do all the things that I'm allowed to do now, and just to have this way of staying in touch. So those are some of the tapes that kept me sane back then. So this is evidence of my love affair back in the day. And what was really nice was just that you knew that the DJ was going to be playing all the latest tunes. Oh my gosh, look at this one. Soul to Soul, Jazzy B, Kiss FM. 1988. That was before you were born, Marley.
My inspiration via radio started off when I was very young, actually, which helped to nurture my idea of what I wanted to become in later life, which was like a DJ. So from a very, very, very early age, my mum used to have, or my parents used to have, a Blue Spot Gram that I often played with, and that had a radio in it. And in those days it was Valve. That's not that long ago, but a little while ago. And what always fascinated me about radio was just all the knobs and stuff like that, and just the fact that somebody was speaking to you through this speaker, and I just found it quite amazing, so that was always cool.
I listen to the radio basically because it sometimes it's nothing to do, and it just fills in the time, like, you know what I'm saying?
Why do you listen to the radio then?
I don't know, but it's something to do and it's listening to
Just
the radio.
to make time.
Yeah.
When do you listen to it most?
In the night time, innit?
When in your yard?
Yeah.
Kicking back from
Coaching and that, innit?
When I was young, it was like, how can I explain it? I used to be like one of them people just logging on every day. It was like, wasn't necessarily escape from reality type thing, but it was just like a product which was like reflecting what I was into. And with Garage, for instance, and I keep highlighting Garage because that was probably more like ISFM and the certain stations, they're like for a little bit, but not for long when they switch so much. But it basically, you sort of like, listen, it's almost like, how can I explain it? It's not like an addiction thing, but it's like your vibe on your sort of level. So it's like, you can't get anything like it on TV. That's another thing with like the pirate radio station. It's normally like escape from the mainstream thing. And it's like, you don't have to listen to like news bulletins about the terrorism things, this, that and the other to scare you along with the agenda.
I used to tune into radio like on a Saturday evening when it used to be on. In fact, everyone my generation used to, because it was like, yeah, we were on radio. So it's not just Radigan on radio, but the whole community was on radio because everybody tuned in to hear the latest. Even though we know that wasn't the latest.
Easy the cheap people that spent £10 on Valentine's Day, yeah? You're broke.
Some people are spend £5.
Not even that. Some people went Sam's. 2 burgers, 2 fries, £2.50.
I think pirate radio is an age thing. I really do. I think now more than ever before, younger people listen to pirate radio more than, people in their 20s or 30s. I think that when I was doing pirate radio, we had a wider spread of people listening because we were representing music that just wasn't being played. And the music we liked was neither young or old, it was just music. Nowadays, pirate radio, the more popular pirate stations tend to be aimed at teenage kids. So it's not really for me.
I was a radio freak. I used to listen to radio a lot every day. Every time as soon as I come back from school, I listen to music. I After I eat, it's radio. Everything used to be radio. I used to tape up radio so much times. But when you're listening to the radio itself and it's talking over, you don't really recognise it talking over because you're just too busy dancing to the beat. What it is, yeah, the radio stations that most of the people around here listen to, yeah, like when we're listening to the radio, the tunes that we want to hear, they're all talking over it, talking. But a tune that we don't want to hear, they'll let it play for so long. So when we're recording it, then we listen to the tape after. It's not really worth listening to, innit? Like, it's just worth throwing out the window. That's what made me stop listening to radio anyway.
Just for the benefit.
Yeah, but the beauty of radio, there is people moan about DJs talking too long, people moan about DJs not talking enough, people moan about people playing the wrong music.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of radio. If you don't like it, you can turn over.
Before Monday 20, do they know it? On a worldwide scale.
And I can't bust ups all the time, but I can bore man up, it's real. When I put the shank inside your body, you better tell me how you feel. I warned you, told you, my name's Iceman, you told me that you don't care, you can't talk like that when you're in Kenzo. Get me? I used to, like, not look up to man them times. I used to think, well, like, they're on radio, you get me? Them times they used to fling my tape and bam. Get me? After just listening to them, I wasn't even on, I was on spitting, but I was mad, innit?
What I really like about pirate stations is that you can phone in and like ask them to play that tune again. You know what I mean? There's like Kiss FM, you can't say, yeah, Kiss FM, can you play that tune again? They won't. I don't think they will do it. With pirate stations, you can just phone in and say, yeah, can you rewind that tune? And there's times when the same song gets rewinded about 3 or 4 times. You know what I mean? So if it's a case where you wanted to record it, you've got enough time to grab a tape and stick it in there to record it. You know what I mean?
Now, when the come on, please, like, whoa!
We got the wheel again.
Alright, I'm coming to ya. Yeah. I can take the man do. What's that? What's going on? If you wanna talk like that, I'll sing it now. When the come on, please, like, wow! I'm an old look, bitch, I'm running this now. It feel like a bitch, I'm running this. No, my youth is coming this down.
I listen to it when I'm getting ready for school, when I'm on my way to school, like on my phone or something, whilst I'm at school in the playground, not in lessons or anything. And after school again when I'm walking home, and when it gets me to sleep as well. So radio is like a big part of my life. And I also tape off radio, as you can see here, all my tapes, big collection. And all of these tapes, maybe except for like 2, are from Freeze FM, which is a pirate, as I said.
He's the man like Joker, it's a garage DJ, big up yourself. Get jiggy, He's the All-Stars LA, get jiggy, girls.
I lived in Germany from the age of 4 until I was 17. And I went to boarding school as well, so I had to kind of listen to a lot of radio because we weren't allowed to watch TV for once in boarding school. And in Germany, they also had a lot of kind of radio stations where they had Jam FM in Germany, which is also in America, I think. They have a Jam FM too, and they play a lot of hip hop and R&B. So you know that kind of kept me in touch with what was going on back then. So yeah.
But that's what you sort of grow up on, and
okay.
Whatever you sort of grow up on has a strong influence on what you're going to listen to for the rest of your life.
That's so true. Because I mean, when I was younger, the certain music I used to play in the house, I never used to want to hear it. But now, I've got that music in my selection. You know what I mean? I catch myself listening to the music I didn't like.
Every Sunday at my nan's house, revivals, Englishes. You weren't allowed to listen to nothing else but revival on Sunday. If like, say your dad, you used to wait for opportunity, like if your dad went to the toilet, you used to try and like put a little R&B on for a while. She'd be like, change it back, and you'd be like, okay, and then turn it back. But you had to listen to revival on Sunday.
listeners are incredibly critical. They think their radio station is part of their family. They're, you know, more than you would say BBC One or BBC Two or ITV. You'd never consider it my personal channel, you know, but you do your radio station.
People really care about it. Like, if you look at how people reacted when John Peel died, and he'd just become a friend to so many people, particularly older people who'd grown up with him, who'd grown up with his music, who'd like got used to just tuning in every week.
Gets to feature something just like this. All courtesy of our very own Mr. Sandino. Sandino say she got a man in her life, but she still lonely because her man watch too much TV. She want love and affection, but there's no connection. Man still watch TV. Hey, she couldn't take it, so she running. Too busy watching telly, so he never really see what's coming. I know she running after the clock bag packing. When she know the street and I'm mocking. The man in her best.
You wanna AJ and me not free, and this is not BET. You want me SSY, so you are PAY. I look at the style, but not the 9. When I'm in a bed, expect 59.
Basically, I used to run a pirate station in South London called Baseline. And through running the pirate station, you know, the ups and the downs, the roofs, the DTI, the police. When I heard that 1Extra was being launched, I sort of tried to get involved, and I sort of arranged to accidentally meet one of the guys who was going to be running it. And he said, do him a tape or so. I gave it to him, didn't call me for a year. And then I got a call out of the blue saying, come and do some piloting. And I ended up where I am now. With the pirates, it's, how can I say, it's like driving a car. Pirates is manual. Going legal is like driving an automatic. It's a lot easier.
It's not that I don't think pirate radio is a good way of learning. I think it's a brilliant way of learning. But for someone who's already done it all, for me to go back and listen to pirate, it's like pirate radio is like learning how to drive. If you compare it to driving, you learn how to drive with BSM, famous British School of Motoring. You pay extra money, you learn how to drive, you drive properly, you pass your test. Or then your cousin teaches you how to drive. That's pirate radio, you know what I mean? Where there's no rules. You may cross your hands when you're driving a car. You may not check your mirror signal, but you still get from A to B. And that's what pirate radio is like. So the habits on pirate radio, like people will talk over tracks, people will talk over vocals, people will just not stop talking, people don't talk, you know, all those things. I don't need to be picking up those habits again, because where I am, I mustn't be doing that.
Easy the massive came, let me love you Saturday gone. Trust me, niceness, I go on.
Hey, be a niceness.
There is still an underground, because what you find that there's rules and regulation, and what legal entities can't do, you probably find that the community radio stations, they're more flexible and they can do. I think 1Extra now, they're trying to break that barrier down, because they're giving you a wider scope. They're giving you, you know, the rap music, the dancehall music, the reggae, which is harder hitting lyrics.
Alright, wait till he gets into the tune. Listen.
Yeah, I know. Oh gosh, I'm disgusted.
Obviously, playing your own music on pirate is something as a musical lover that you do miss. But the things that we play here at 1Extra are the sort of things that we play anyway if we were on pirate. So it's not that much. I mean, if I'd gone from Pirates to Radio 1, it would have been like, wow, I've gone from playing Common to playing Coldplay. But coming to 1Extra, we're playing the music that we love, and everyone up here is so passionate about it, so it hasn't really been that bad. Plus you get paid.
They want the radio stations to listen to, because most of the like radio stations are dominated with like pop, white culture. It doesn't interest me. Like Choice FM is now owned by, who's it now?
Capital FM.
Capital FM. That's just your prime example.
Alright, basically I'm here listening to Capital FM, and for those that don't know, they recently brought out Choice FM, arguably one of the leading black stations. But the deep thing what people don't know is when they bought it, right, they've done a thing where they're kicking out bare the people who are kicking consciousness and certain wiser minds, because they're looking to target it for like the teenagers to 23s, you know, like the uni college type crowd. And when they try to do that, what people don't realise is so that they can shape the scene.
The mainstream, they try their best to give you a lot of the upfront stuff, but they're always going to be playing catch up when it comes to the community radio station or the underground stations, because the underground stations, they're the ones who's getting hold of these records faster than the mainstream, because young DJs, they've got the energy, they're moving around, they're going to studios to saying, what's new? Okay, yeah, can I get a sample of that, and so forth. But we're the mainstream guys, you know. Let's just say, well, I'm going to say, you're Chris Tarrant. You know, he's going to sit on his bum in his chair, and he expects to come into the studio, and there's a pile of records for him with a list and say, right, Chris, you're going to play from 1 to 10. It's not going to happen.
I think pirate radio's got a very, very strong place in that it's an outlet for people who are creative. It's an outlet for people who want their music played and don't want to wait for established stations to play it. It's an outlet for talent, so I would never knock pirate radio ever. In that way, it's a very, you know, I mean, I would knock the fact that when I don't like it when people abuse it, you know, and don't use it for the right reasons. So some people just get on there to be famous and try and get some rep and all that stuff, and there's other people who are actually there trying to create something.
To me, personally, radio means practice. For me, and recognition. For me, as an MC to go on radio, I want to go on radio to make people know who I am, what I'm about, and kind of express myself, basically.
I'm the next big thing. I'm bigger than Jordan's tits. The music scene, I love it to bits. My flame burns. I'm a little light, I'll make it shine. You see this whole scene, I'll make it mine. I'll lock the scene down, and I'll take everything by storm. It was destined the day I was born, so just hate or relate. You know I weigh the track down, cause my bars they be carrying.
I listen to radio, yeah, like man, like Wiley and Dizzy, old school, innit? They used to murk radio, innit? I used to go there, listen, but I wasn't ever like, I wish I was dumb or anything, innit? So I was thinking they had to work to get to where they are, innit? But it's just that I'm late, innit? They done it before me, innit? So I'm gonna work in a like different way, and I don't want to be like them or nothing, innit? I want to do things my way, so when you're so young, they're gonna be thinking the same as me, innit? Like they're big, alright. You get me? I have to do something else for me to be big, because they done that way already, innit? I don't want to be like no one, innit? Get me?
The difference between pirate and normal licensed station is, with pirate, you can say anything you want to say. That's one big example. With a licensed station that's proper license, one swear word they can take you off, find you, and stuff like that. They know where to find you to, because with pirate stations, they don't want to be found, because they don't want to get caught by the DTI, basically. That just boils down to that point, basically.
Yeah, it's just Dino, I'm doing my thing, you get me? It's on the roadsides. Merkin, serious. I'm gonna give you some bars, watch. Yeah. Like global warming, act straight for your dome and down to your chin. I'm not on no joking thing, the sledgehammer's gonna break all your ribs. Sure little kids wanna see unattached limbs, it could be your lip or the next kids. Then I creep in the crib when eating biscuits. One quick thing, separate your jaw from your chin, yeah.
All of us here that do night shows feel like we own the building, you know, and you get that you get false sense of confidence, you know, because you think it's very relaxed, we can do whatever we want to do, there's not a boss sitting, you know, the boss is physically not sitting in his office listening to output, he's probably sitting at home listening to it, but you just think, right, we're alone here, me and my team, broadcasting to basically a bunch of maniacs, which is more and more apparent as the hours go on. Balin Leonard, who was sitting in on overnights the other night, he had a call, and sometimes you get calls and you can't quite work it out. You start off thinking, this is a really good call, this person's really articulate, where have they come from? And this guy was phoning in to Balin about, I think it's about 3:30 in the morning, and Balin was loving it. Balin's an American, you know, New Yorker, doing his first gig, he's young, thinking, wow, what a great call. And the guy was becoming more and more outrageous and pushing Balin, you know, to the limit. And Balin's the presenter. And it suddenly dawned on Balin and the producer that this guy's from a pirate radio station, and he's on air. Balin's on air to this pirate radio. I know. And you think, part of you thinks, oh, you little devils, you know, but part of you really admires them. You think, this must make great listening, actually, wherever it's going out.
Everywhere you go on the station, on a Saturday, you got South London station, East London station, North London, West London, you know what I'm saying? It's everywhere. Music is a powerful thing. If there was no music in the world would be miserable. I'm telling you.
This one is shit. Untight Swiver, Miracle. Next one. Untight Dino. Look. Untight Zippy. You know that. You don't want to end up on the mix up. You don't want to end up on the mix up with the shit up in the book.
It's hard to shut them down. And somewhere, someone is seeing that there's a need for it. And even though something might be legal, you know, it shouldn't be legal. It might be that a blind eye is being turned. Because I know that the authorities, if they want to do anything, like shut something down, they can do it, no problem.
No, you can never write out pirates. You will never ever be able to get rid of pirates. If you get rid of pirates, you might as well lock off the whole frequency. No stations to go on, basically.
All you do is talk about gangster. All you're writing and wanna be gangster. You're all gangster, plus a prankster. So we're all talk about gangster. Since when you see gun, I realise you ain't got one. You get bun, you get stunned. You're fake and I'm the real one. Some man try confuse me, say they love me, try to use me. I'm a girl but I'm not easier. When I say no, then they try to breeze the cunts. Some man try confuse me, say they love me, try to use me. I'm a girl but I'm not easier. When I say no, then they try to breeze the don't get me crazy, or I will get feisty. Get too hyped to me, I'll be your worst enemy and you will not like me. Cause I'm too raw, test me, put a hot one through your jaw. Get sent to heaven if you ain't got lyrics and you ain't got rhythm. You don't wanna get too hyped cause you might get bored up. You don't really wanna get
Monster. All time the man there is on. All time pain, all time nightmare. Well, are you cool? Golly. Oi! Look, like that. I'll bring it now. When the minute come on, things are like, whoa!
Ooh, he got the wheel again.
Monster! Alright, I'm coming to ya. Yeah. I can take the man dude. What's that? What's going on? If you wanna talk like that, I'll bring it now. When the minute come on, things are like, wow! Shut my look, I'm an open. Look, bitch, I'm running this now. It feel like a bitch, I'm running this. No, my youth, I'm coming this down.